Um,
Hey everyone, welcome to the Goose's Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and I'm here with Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Are you ready
All
for the
right.
big game today?
Oh yeah, we're recording Super Bowl Sunday. I don't give a shit. They should have waited to drop it
Mm.
until today. That would have made me that would because they waited for Deadpool last year and Wolverine. They didn't drop it until like the after the national anthem, and that's
What,
what
what are
happened.
you talking about?
The Deadpool Wolverine trailer was dropped during the Super Bowl.
And what are you saying should be dropped to this one?
They should have waited to drop Fantastic Four until the Super Bowl.
I think at this
There's nothing
Super
else I want to
Bowl,
see.
we're gonna see trailers for a few of those Marvel movies, and I feel like they're gonna show you more like cameos and scenes in the trailers today.
Yeah. Well,
Like maybe we'll see Mo Man. Like
I
maybe
know
we'll
this
see
isn't
Mo
a
Man.
Marvel. I know this isn't a Marvel podcast, but me and my friend, we used to go to all the Marvel films, like all the way up until Age of Ultron, right? We went to all of them. It was always like, oh no, we went even in 2018. We went to a ton of them, right? Me, him, and
Same
his
here.
wife.
Same here. It was an event. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I'm moving soon, he was like, I was like, let's do it again. I want to see you. I haven't seen him in a while. So we're gonna go see Captain America Thursday afternoon, and he goes, "You should buy the tickets." And I looked it up, bro. There's hardly any tickets sold on Thursday for Captain America, the new one, and I'm just like, we'll be all right. We'll just stroll in, okay, take it. We're gonna have our own private theater for this one, so
That's the one that looks bad.
nobody cares. You know what? This is a whole other conversation. They didn't do enough in the movies to have people care about the Falcon. He's not even barely a main character he's barely in Civil War. He's barely in Endgame. He's barely in Infinity War. And then they're just like, "Oh, you're Captain America." They should have made Bucky Captain America first, and then Falcon. But whatever. And nobody watched that Disney Plus show. So
Dude, I didn't even know it was coming out this Friday. Oh.
yeah. So no one knows. Okay, but you know what? Everyone knows. Everyone knows that we're in your house, and me and Andrew Lee were good friends, but we make better enemies. This is the first one with a subtitle. Andrew Lee called it "In Your House 7." The official title is "In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies," and it just sounds better than your "In Your House" than getting rid of the numbers because. No, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know what Clash of Champions was what because they just kept going with the numbers until the end. You know.
but if you go on like Wikipedia and they have a poster for it, it does say
So
in your house
that's a
seven.
fan made poster.
It says seven. The seven is the biggest character on the fucking
Yeah.
poster.
It's
It
in
is
your
huge.
house. It's in your house. Good friends, better enemies. I thought this main event was fucking fantastic, man. The rest of the show, not so, we could talk about that, but man, I thought this is one of the best main events we have seen in a long time. What did you think? What did you think overall of the show?
I think I have the same opinion as you do. I don't think the main event was the best thing I've ever seen, but it's really good. And do you think the main event seems very good because the rest of the show is so bad?
No, I think number one, Diesel is trying. He's actually putting effort in,
Because
and
it's his friend, yeah, and he's leaving.
and Shawn Michaels finally does what he should have done at WrestleMania 11 and make this guy look like a fucking monster. And I just think, and even Vince is like part of the show, but it's like good Vince. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I think on any show, if this was on the Rumble last week, I think we would have been like, oh my god, this is the best match on the show. You know. Also, there's like real emotion. There's like real stories. There's real stakes. I don't know. It was really good.
It was really good. But let's get into it. Takes this in your house seven. Good friends, better enemies. Takes place on April 28th, 1996. In Omaha, Nebraska. There's 9,563 people there in attendance, 165 pay-per-view buys. So in comparison, WrestleMania 12 right before it had 18,000 over 18,000 people, and it had 290,000 pay-per-view buys. So it's a drop from WrestleMania, but it is going to draw more than in your house 8. Will only have 110,000 buys. So good. We start off with a really good package for Shawn Michaels and Diesel, and we have Junior, Vince McMahon Jr. and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Let's go to our first match. It is a tag team match. We've got Davey Boy Smith, Owen Hart, tag teaming, coming out with Jim Cornette and Charles Mason.
No,
Is it Charles
Clarence Mason.
Mason? Clarence Mason. Sorry.
Yeah, show some respect, all right?
Yeah, and they show you in order to show you why this match is happening. They talk about they were in Germany and there was issues with Jake Roberts in Germany, and then Jake Roberts starts cutting a promo that Junior starts ruining because he's just interjecting himself into it. It's like, ugh.
He's
Do you
interrupting
remember
Jake.
what?
He keeps interrupting him.
Yeah, I know. Well, why is he doing that?
I think because he wanted Jake to hit like one point and then end the segment, and I think he thought, oh, Jake's gonna like just go on and on. But I'm like, let Jake go on and on. I don't know, like,
Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah,
That's Jake Roberts promos are not like Macho Man's promos. He has his own style, and his style is he kind of goes into like a soliloquy almost, right? But at the
yeah.
end, he
Vince
kind of
didn't
he
want
makes
that.
a point. Yeah, Vince didn't want that. He just interrupted him, and I'm like, you just ruined the promo that could have been good, but whatever.
Vince was like, be
Anyways,
quiet.
yeah, Jake Roberts comes in, and Clarence Mason gives him some court order documents. Jake Roberts like rips him up and ignores it, and then he pulls out his giant snake. And Jim Cornette faints because of the snake. That part I liked. That Jim Cornette
Jim
fainted.
Cornette. Jim Cornette is really, really good. But
Yes.
here, I always feel like Jim Cornette should have just always been. He to me, as good as he is, he just doesn't fit in WWF ever. He never fit. It feels like a WCW NWA guy, just kind of like because he doesn't adjust his style. He never really, to me, he never really became a WWF character. I'm not saying he's not like
Mm.
great, but like when he did the feint, it's so like old school wrestling that it almost like doesn't fit with the rest of the show. But I loved it.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of like I know what you're talking about. And when I was a kid, I didn't like it, but now when I'm watching it, like I
It's
really
just
enjoy it.
like doing it in WCW. Like he should be managing the American males and doing this shit.
American Male. That's how I felt about the Heavenly Bodies. It's like really they don't fit in, but
Yeah.
now when I look back, I'm like I really enjoyed their matches. It's
Mhm.
very weird, but they just don't look polished. Is the best way to say it. Oh, it's my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
part.
yeah. But I did like he wasn't just scared, he fainted. Like he
Yeah,
did a whole thing to get over. I think Jim Cornette, unlike Vince McMahon, knew if we get Jake over big again, he could mean a lot. And he's trying. And Vince is like, no, we're not gonna try. But
yeah, we're not gonna let him do his promos. But anyways, this is also 1996. I think it's starting to be like you can't have these animals hanging around anymore, like as much. So the
yeah.
whole thing is the court order documents is Jake has to put the snake back. He has to bring it back into the he's not allowed to have it out here. So Jake Roberts takes the snake to the back and he returns instead with Ahmed Johnson. So that's the tag team match we're gonna see. Jake Roberts and Owen
That
Hart,
was
they
that
start
was
the
good the
match.
way like the way they did it. That was good the way like Jake like oh you're all by yourself and then Ahmed's music hit and then they just walked. That was pretty good. Uh,
Absolutely. Because
Ahmed always walks out and his presentation's fantastic and then the bell rings. And
he always is so wet when he comes out.
that's how
he's got like
that's what's
he's
actually
got like
Swerve Scott should copy that because he looks very ashy when he walks out.
yeah, Ray Ahmed Johnson is just like soaking wet when he comes out all the
Yeah,
time.
it's like he like was just bathing in he was like sitting in oil and then they said to him you have to come out. But
Or
listen,
like
it looks good on camera. It looks good on camera.
or he was like taking a huge shit and he's just like sweaty. He comes out right after taking a huge shit, he's like
Shit,
all sweaty.
that's probably what he did. He was a weird guy.
So, anyways, Jake and Owen Hart they start the match, and then Davey and Ahmed Johnson tag in, and Davey hurt like Ahmed Johnson's thumb or something. So Davey's like, I'm scared of this guy because this guy looks like he's really mad at me. So when Davey's in there with Ahmed, he quickly tags Owen back in, and he goes, you're back in the match," and he won't get a tag in from Owen. So that was a fun spot. And Ahmed wants Davey. He's like, "You broke my thumb. It's all taped up." He's like, he's got the Umaga thumb, and he's like, "I want you. You gave me Umaga thumb." We do see Diana sitting in attendance.
She's such a
Very
bad
nice.
actress.
Yeah, yeah. They're really trying to make her something. She's like everywhere. And what do you call it? Whenever they show Davy, she's always gonna be there now. You know? It's
Yeah.
anyway, David Boy Smith, he keeps avoiding Ahmed Johnson, but eventually he cheap shots Ahmed, and Owen and Davy starts beating on Ahmed. Then they start beating on Jake Roberts. And as they're putting the heat on him, Jake Roberts now is wearing like this snake vest.
Mm-hmm.
And
Scott.
when he was getting his beat down in this match, you could really see how fat he got,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
he looked bad. His stomach was just all over the place. It feels like he got fatter since WrestleMania 12, which was like a month ago, right?
You know, I just wish Tony Khan was booking because Tony Khan would have had Jake with his gut out doing fucking some strong style, knock it out, British Bulldog with some fucking chops partner, and then pin Sean for the belt partner because it doesn't matter how your body looks, partner. All that matters is that you love wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. He's sitting. Owen Hart has him in a sleeper. He's sitting in a sleeper, and I'm like, this guy definitely got fatter since the last pay per view. He just
Mhm.
looks. I don't remember him looking this fat. Anyway, the crowd eventually Ahmed hot tags. Crowd pops for Ahmed, who cleans house, and then Davy Boy Smith he takes Jim Cornette's racket, and he hits Jake Roberts in the knee with it when the referee is distracted trying to break up the melee, and then Davy Boy Smith puts on a standing knee bar on Jake Roberts to win the match. Uh, B minus. It's like, it is what it is. What did you think?
I thought it was a fun opener. I would have had Ahmed pin Owen. I think you needed. I think he hasn't gotten a win on pay per view since Survivor Series, and I think him pinning Owen isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, you just brought back Jake. He's not had a win on pay per view. Wait, did he win in February? I think he won on the pre show in February. Who fucking cares? I don't think it would have done much to hurt Bulldog and Owen. I know Bulldog's about to go into a feud with Shawn Michaels right after, but I don't know, man. I think you had to like start really investing in Ahmed if he was going to make a difference. And I think when he looks like an idiot over and over again, people kind of like, all right, I don't have to take this guy seriously, you know?
Yeah, I see your point in that, but
Mhm.
you're right. Davy's about to go into a program with the main event, so maybe that's why they're like, this guy has to win. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, this guy is the one who has to pick up the victory.
I would have then done British Bulldog, Jake the Snake 1-on-1. That's what I would have.
Yeah, you're right. I don't. I guess because they don't. I guess they just want to keep this as a 2 hour format. Maybe that's the reason
Mhm.
why. Who knows? Anyways, we go to the back. We got Wild Man Mark Marrow, 1 2 3 Kid. They're both on the hotline in the split screen, and I think they're like both yelling. You can't hear what they're saying, but they're both yelling or both
They were on
angry.
the pre-show.
Were they talking to each other or were they talking to the fans?
No, they were talking. They were talking to Sean Ross Sapp, giving him
Oh,
scoops.
they were like they both looked mad and they both looked like they're yelling. And
Well,
I was like,
Wild
are they
Man,
yelling at I thought they were yelling
Wild
at
Man probably
fans.
pissed that Triple H interfered because they show you footage of that later. And 1 2 3 Kid's probably pissed because he was hoping to fuck China that night. She wasn't the company yet.
Oh, so I thought they were yelling at fans, and I was like, why are they so mean to fans? And then I realized, oh, I think they're yelling at each other, right? Like they're cutting a promo on each other. Jared King Lawler, by the way, doesn't think Sable's pretty, and that's going to be the ongoing joke that he's going to do. He doesn't think Sable's pretty
Yeah,
anymore.
he switches that up in 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. Um, by the way, they show you the free for all, a little clip from the free for all, which is like the pre show for the In Your Houses, where Gold does. he blows this like his gold dust into Warrior's face. This which is now going to lead to our next match. It is for the Intercontinental title. Goldust, who comes out with a bodyguard and Marlena, and there's gonna be facing
And the
the
bodyguard
Ultimate.
is Mantor.
Yes, the bodyguard is Mantor. Then Goldust is gonna be facing the Warrior, who chases Goldust in the run in the walkway, and then he chases them away. He picks up Marlena's cigar, it's dropped on the walkway, and he starts smoking it in the ring. And Vince McMahon Jr. has to stay. The Warrior doesn't smoke, everybody. I thought that was
Can I
funny.
just,
He
can I
had
just
to.
cut in? Can I just cut in?
Yeah, of
This
course.
match, I don't even want to call it a match. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. This is one of the, I don't, if it had to be this bad, why even book it? Like, what about Ultimate Warrior Owen Hart? You just squash him. I mean, this was bad, bro. This was horrendous. This was the worst thing I've ever seen Warrior do by far.
This was because I think Goldust is injured and he can't wrestle.
Well, then just be like, I'm not wrestling, and then you have him wrestle Mantar and destroy
Yeah,
it.
that's what I would have
Which
done.
is
I
what
would have
happens anyway.
Yeah, I would have done like I can't wrestle because I'm injured, so you're gonna fight Mantar or something like that. But
And Gorella's like, okay,
he,
but if Warrior beats Mantar, he gets a title shot at the next pay per view 100%.
yeah, I just thought it was
That's what I would
funny. Yeah, I think it's funny that when he's smoking that cigar, Junior has to be
do.
like, he doesn't smoke, everybody. He doesn't smoke. I need to understand that. I was like, why is that so important? Anyways, as I mentioned, Goldust is injured. You could tell his left knee is taped up real bad, and they're just stalling. He's not even getting in the ring. Warrior goes and he takes Goldust his director's chair, puts it in the ring. He takes the wig, takes the robe. He wears the wig, wears the robe, and he sits down on the director's chair. And the fans start chanting "faggot." You could hear it.
That's great. What a thrill! I'm so glad this was on the show. I'm
Yeah,
so
they're not even. You could hear him chanting "faggot." Goldust, he gets on the microphone and he tells everybody to shut up or I'm gonna kiss every single one of you, which gets even more faggot chants.
I would have liked to have seen him do that. Like, okay, I just started kissing people.
Yeah. So Marlena, she eventually gets her cigar back from Warrior. He gives it back to her, and then he gives Goldust his robe back, and he goes, "Hey Goldust, why don't you sit in your director's chair?" So he sits on the director's chair. Then Warrior takes the cigar from Marlena and he puts it out in Goldust's hand, and he clotheslines Goldust out of the chair, and Goldust starts hobbling to the back. The referee calls for the bell, and then the bodyguard he gets in the ring and he starts beating on the Warrior who no sells it, and then Warrior beats on the bodyguard, rips his shirt, and then slams him. As Ray mentioned, the bodyguard is Mantar, and believe it or not, there's through this pay per view is three people's final pay per view appearance. Mantar, this will be Mantar's last WWE televised WWE appearance.
That's the reason why the company goes in the toilet.
Yeah. By the way, Mantar is actually going to pass away on July 2023 of diabetes. He was 55 years
Saddest
old.
day of my life.
This is not like an actual wrestling match, but I really think it's because Goldust got injured. That's the reason why.
It just, but here's the thing: the Warrior always was explosive, always was hitting people. So for Warrior just to sit there and like him and Goldust just sitting in the ring, I understand he's injured. Then don't have him come out or make it very clear that he's gonna fight Mantar, because I think Warrior with doing all this weird shit, it just is like you wasted your money rehiring him. It didn't seem like he had much of a plan for the Warrior. He wanted Warrior. I think he signed Warrior because he just didn't want another guy to go to WCW, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he signs Warrior, but then he doesn't seem to have much of a plan for the fucking guy. And to me, if you asked me, and when I was 15, hey, Vince is going to re-sign the Warrior. What's the plan? My plan: fucking have him squash Bret Hart and get the belt. That's what would have made me tune in. It's just if you're not going to like really push this guy, I don't know. I wouldn't have put him. I wouldn't have put him in this position. You've kind of. I don't know. It just kind of proved that Warrior's washed, and you have no plans for him. You know.
Yeah, I think this was this is not in the wheelhouse. And if it ends up going like Goldust is injured, you can always change plans. You don't have to do this bullshit. You can just change the
Yeah,
plans.
it
Have
just because
you know?
any other situation, Warrior just would start clotheslining the fucking guy. But okay, if Goldust is injured, right, and Warrior knows that in kayfabe, why doesn't Warrior just beat him up in 20 seconds, get his belt back?
Yeah, that's a good
Man,
point. That's a very good
Goldust
point.
still came to the ring, so why?
Yeah.
Like, it makes Warrior because the crowd is hot for Warrior. The loudest they are the whole show is when Warrior runs out. And by the end of the night, by the end of this match, they're like, all right, you know,
The amount of time you spent in the segment, you could have easily done a squash with the same amount of time, you know?
yeah, yeah.
And
You could have just squashed
you would have got a better reaction. Yeah, I agree. At this point, this Vince McMahon Jr. is doing things where he's shooting himself in the foot. You know, he's doing a lot
Yeah,
of things where he's just fucking himself. Yeah,
yeah. Well, also, I also feel like we'll get into in the main event because while I do love the main event, it's just if you did this before before the guy was leaving, Shawn Michaels, he wouldn't be leaving. But you're making this guy look like $1 million, and I feel like as much as I love the match, I feel like he's doing that so that Kevin Nash can be a significant player in WCW, which happens, which almost drives WWF out of business.
yeah, but you have to understand Shawn Michaels' point of view of why this he's doing it like this. Before, he didn't want to make Diesel look like $1 million because Shawn Michaels wasn't the top guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the champion. Once he secures the top guy's spot, he now is willing to play and work. And now that his friend is going somewhere else, he's like, I want you to be the top guy somewhere else where you're not a threat to me.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah, I'll make you look good.
because that guy became the top, because
Is it
he became the top guy,
unprofessional? What?
fucking Vincent just went under.
Yeah. Now, if you ask me, is that unprofessional? 100%. I think everybody during that time would say Shawn Michaels 100% was unprofessional. But that's what I'm saying is probably what his thinking was.
But
It's
yeah, I no, that's what I agree his thinking.
yeah.
But my thing is, I will say this: I liked Razor and Diesel's matches on this show. They were made to look way too good for two guys leaving. They were made to look like fucking megastars. But we'll keep going.
Yeah, you're never gonna see that nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe. We'll talk about it. Let's get to the
Yeah.
next match.
So Doc Hendricks is in the back and he's just like, hey guys, breaking news, what happening? They got Owen Hart. He's banging on Shawn Michaels' door and he's yelling about Diana. Owen Hart is there as well, but Davey's like banging on Shawn Michaels' door. He's like, hey, come out. I want you, Shawn.
Why did
You
they?
gonna do that to Diana?
Why did they could just when Shawn Michaels is like half dead? Remember, it's no holds barred, right? Why did Davey Boy and Owen Hart just come out like fucking end Shawn Michaels' career if he's so pissed?
Yep.
They should have
Probably
had this
because
happen at the end of the show. They should have had like Diana. I'm here with Diana. Diana Hart. She wants to tell Davy Boy something in the back, and she's like, "Oh, Shawn Michaels fucked me in the ass. What? He fuck. That's what I do." And then like Brown Monster's like, "You can't go out there." And then you just end the show. We'll see on Raw. You know,
yeah, they should have done that, but
it's just like there's nothing stopping you legally. You, Vader, and Owen Hart can just beat Shawn Michaels to death and give Diesel the belt, and I'm taking the WCW. It just ruined Shawn Michaels' life. You're just so mad. But was he just standing at the fucking dressing room door during the main event? Oh, I'm so pissed.
this is like when WWE had like really little shitty logic,
Yeah.
So you we often say we were saying that 1995 was the worst year in WWF. 1996 isn't that far off, you know?
Well, I'll tell you why. 96 is already better because Shawn Michaels is delivering in the ring, even if it's for selfish reasons. So.
All right, fair point. All right, so then we're gonna go to match number 3. We have Vader, who comes out with Jim Cornette. We get a recap of Vader just squashing him, possibly breaking Yokozuna's leg. And Vader's gonna be facing Reza and Ramon. So they lock up. These two lock up. Razor Ramon and Vader, they lock up. And then Vader tosses Razor out the ring right away. That's how powerful he is. Vader starts beating on Razor, But as he's beating, he's just not going in for the kill. He's just kind of like hitting him a couple of times, takes a few steps back, poses to the crowd, and then just kind of stares at Razor, and then walks over to Razor and hits him some more. There's no sense of urgency. He's just like posing a lot. Razor Ramon fights back. He sends Vader outside, and then Vader just he stalls a lot. And even Junior on commentary says, "I thought this guy was some kind of, I thought he was some kind of guy who would bring it to you." And instead he seems yellow, like he doesn't want to fight. Vader gets back in.
Dude, the booking of this match, it was a good match in a vacuum. The booking of this match was fucking weird because I would what I would do if Razor Ramon's leaving, and I don't want him to leave, but he's leaving, and I'm pissed. I would have had Vader, and Vader could easily do this. Just maul him. Just fucking maybe 3 offensive moves, but have Vader maul him, and it would have looked great. And then it's like, oh, Razor Ramon left because he was scared of Vader. That's why he left. Instead, like Razor Ramon's bringing it to Vader he kicks out of the fucking the finishing move. He suplexes Vader. I don't I don't understand.
So continuing with this, Vader gets back and he just continues to be slow.
Mm-hmm.
And as Ray mentioned, Razor kicks out of the Vader bomb. And then Razor fights back, but he can't do the Razor's Edge. And then but he is able to do a really cool electric chair drop on Vader that looks good. Yeah. But then Vader does a back body drop. Um, and then he sits down, splashes on Razor Ramon to win the match. See, unlike you, I don't think this is a good match. I gave this a D. This is a D list match because you think it's Razor Ramon's last WWF match. It's Razor Ramon versus Vader, both when they're in their prime. This is going to be a good match. It doesn't deliver. And if you ask me, I'm going to put the blame on Vader.
Okay.
Because Vader is not like, I think he's already been told like you fucking like hit too hard or some shit because he is very apprehensive in this whole match. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not attacking. He's just like you could see there's points where Razor's just like he's acting like he's hurt and he's looking at Vader like, all right, are you gonna do something or what? Like he's
No,
like
you're right.
Razor's looking for him to attack him, but uh Vader isn't. So eventually Razor's like, fuck this. He's not doing anything. This match is starting to stink and I gotta do stuff. And that's why even Junior's like, I thought this guy was the guy who was supposed to kill you. What the hell's going on? And it
Not
stinks.
not a good indication from Vinnie Mac when he says that.
Yeah, on commentary when he says, I thought this was the kind of guy who would bring it to you. That's his exact words. It's not a good sign. Yeah, because that's how I felt too. I was like, why isn't he not bringing it? He's just not bringing it, and I think something happened where he just lost his
Well,
confidence right away.
well, here's the thing I would say to Vader because I think in WCW just let you do whatever you want. If you have to hit people for real to be a good wrestler, that means you're not a good wrestler. Like you're not supposed to be hitting me for real.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Like you hit Sting for real. Like, oh yeah, I love those matches, but at the same time, it's like you're doing the one that you're doing the one thing that we're not supposed to do is actually hurt each other.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, but I also thought like I don't know. I thought Razor got way too much offense. It was very weird because in my head, I've never seen this event, but in my head, when I saw that this match happened, I just pictured Razor Ramon being treated like a bitch. And I was very surprised to see, him not. But I didn't
If
hate
you
as much as you, but yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, if you watch the match again, you'll notice that in the beginning, he's not really doing a lot, but there's a point where Razor Ramon just basically goes like, "Fuck it, we got to do something," and that's when he
Yeah.
starts getting a lot of offense in. After this match, Doc Hendricks he tells Vader, "Hey, Gorilla Monsoon, who's back, has set up Yokozuna as your next opponent," and Vader flips out. This is just like Mantar. This is Razor Ramon's last televised event in WWF until he comes back many, many, many years later. I
Mm-hmm.
was listening to I needed this match was very weird, so I had to check out, like, get some background on this match, and I listened to Something to Wrestle With, and Dave Meltzer thought this was a good match, but Bruce Pritchard was like, this was not a good match, and he was like, Vader was very underwhelming. That's how Bruce Pritchard felt, and this is what Bruce Pritchard said about why he thinks this match wasn't good to him and why he was underwhelmed. He says he thinks Vader was thrown off because Vader put on a lot of weight since coming from WCW, and
Mhm.
the wrestling ring that they use in WWF is actually larger than the WCW ring. So he's used to working smaller rings with like cables and stuff, and this is real ropes. And you're moving a lot more because it's a larger ring, and he's put on more weight. He's probably got gassed. That's what he thinks. Like he got winded early. But anyways,
I think getting knocked out by Paul Orndorff ruined his confidence.
that's true. He did get legit punked out. Yeah. Yeah. And that kind of legit could shake you. Remember like when Ronda Rousey got knocked out that one time, it just ruined everything about her? Just once, losing once, right? But
Oh
anyway,
yeah, she lost. I mean, even when she came back the last run, she lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania, and then was never the same after that.
yeah.
And that's a fake loss.
By the way, Razor Ramon and Vader, they were friends since back in the AWA days. So they were friends for a while until so even after this match, there was no heat between them. There was no heat between either of them during this match or after this match until 2016 when Vader, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember Vader? He got into like a Twitter battle with Will Ospreay because, yeah, because Will Ospreay had a match with like Ricochet, and it was like that match everyone points out like amazing, and some people hated it. Vader hated it, and he got into a fight with him. And then Razor Ramon had to put his own two-piece into it, and he tweeted, "Let me get this right. A bitter old timer works himself into a payday by being a hater on Twitter." Because Vader eventually got a match out of this, right? And Vader went on record saying he did not like that. He was like, "Who the fuck is Razor Ramon? I thought we were friends." So before they die, I don't think they made it up over Will
I don't think
Ospreay.
nothing about Vader seemed bitter to me. I mean, I just think he didn't like the match, and Will Ospreay and him made money out of it. I mean,
They
but
did.
like that
That's a best also outcome. Yeah.
that to me is a good outcome. I mean, dude, I don't understand, dude. Every like people are like going after Jimmy Corderas on Twitter, and I'm like, dude, AEW fans are very weird. They're very weird. Like objectively, I don't know, it's just you're not putting on a good
Wait, this
show.
has nothing to do with AEW.
What?
This has nothing to do
No,
with
I'm
AEW.
saying like Vader hated something and then they made it into a money angle, whereas now they just yell at you. They just yell at you to die. And like I think the smartest thing is to turn stuff like this into angles.
Yeah, I agree with you. Make money out of this. It'd be great. You know what? Because if you guys like legit have some kind of beef, the fans, we want to see it. You
Yeah.
know, that's how you make money off of us.
I,
But
I
all right,
still can't believe
anyways,
I can't believe Will Ospreay and Vader wrestled. I gotta watch that match.
I gotta watch that match too. I've never seen that match. I really
Mhm.
haven't. I gotta see how it goes. Yeah, I'm curious now. I think that was Vader's like last match.
You're one of his.
Uh,
You know what was a good match too? Daniel Bryan versus Kamala. That is on YouTube. That's actually not a bad match.
Daniel Bryan versus Kamala.
Yeah, they had a match in Ring of Honor or
I'm gonna have
something.
to watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that one too. I know. I
Because
don't even think I was aware of that.
Daniel Bryan, I think like that match. I think if you like were following the Indies back then, you're like, oh, this guy's special because he treated Kamala like a monster and he wrestled accordingly. Like it was like he's like, I'm like, we're gonna have a good match. People think Kamala's not a good worker, but I'm gonna have a good match. And I don't know, the what he does with Kamala is very, very good. But anyway.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Thanks for the recommendations.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we had to watch more sets of garbage instead. So Paul Bear, Undertaker, they're in the AOL chat room, and there's people like I don't know chatting with like fans, and they're like trying to scare these people, and they're like no selling how scary Paul Bear Undertaker. I was like, don't do this. Don't put Undertaker in situations like that. It just ruins his aura. You know, like it looks so stupid. But
I
anyway,
think they were. I think the only reason they had that they didn't have a match for him and they wanted people to log on to AOL. You know,
oh,
rest man. Were other sports this like all about the internet like wrestling was? I think it was very smart that they got on all in on the internet, like they did. Like,
agree.
but at
I
the
agree.
same time, it's like I don't remember a lot of things being this forward thinking like WWF was.
Mhm. So after this,
No, but I'm asking you, do you remember if other sports were this much about AOL chat rooms and stuff?
no, I don't think so. I think in NBA they would mention it during the games,
No, okay.
right? But I
But
don't
they
think.
really went they he went head first into the internet. But I think that was a very smart move, is what I'm saying about WWE
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Vince.
Like the thing what they're doing, where they're saying they have like a whole chat room
Mhm.
dedicated
And
to it, and
Vader
they're
started like I Taker. I would love to see those fucking chat logs.
yeah, yeah, and I like that. I mean, it's not just WWF. It's WCW has their own thing, right?
Yeah.
They have a CompuServe and everything, so everyone's
I,
doing it in wrestling, which I think is
WCW
smart.
used to have like a daily podcast, like in the year 99, 2000. But I kind of think that's really fucking smart. I don't know. Is that everyone's doing it now?
Yeah, it was smart back then. So,
Mhm.
anyways, um, after this, Todd Pettengill, he's in the back. He's selling merchandise. These are selling polo shirts and he's
Horrible
selling
shirt.
baseball
Horrible.
caps. They're
Like,
Shawn Michaels, Ultimate
oh my God.
Warrior,
Mhm.
Undertaker, and he goes out and he mentions the three most popular superstars. So Brett is already out the picture in this.
He's
Okay.
out. Well, they didn't know if
Yeah,
he was going to
yeah,
resign.
yeah. He's out.
Um, those shirts will look awful. They look like shirts you wear at like a business meeting. But why would you wear that shirt with that stupid logo? Because you're sitting in the your boss is like, whoa, what a go getter! What a nice polo shirt. Wait a minute, is that an Undertaker logo?
Yeah, it's like instead of having a little tiger or a little alligator, right? You have
Yeah.
you have the Undertaker's logo in the corner.
Excuse me, Andrew Lee. I noticed you're wearing this polo shirt at our business meeting. What, is that Undertaker? Yeah, I love WWF, bro. You know it's 1996. No one likes this company. I don't care, bro. I love it.
No, your boss is like, I want to hear what this man has to say. He's wearing an Undertaker polo. He's gonna have great idea.
they should uh, they should bring this back. They should just bring Todd Pendergast back with no explanation and have him cut things like this in the back on the show. I think that'd be really funny. Like
Yeah,
just have him like we have these Jey Uso polo shirts. Call this number for I don't know. That's what I
I think it would sell. I think those things would sell. It would be
just
campy.
need. Well, now see nowadays, I feel like you could. If I worked in an office and I wore like a Jey Uso polo shirt, I think you'd get away with it now. In the '90s, I think they would put you in a mental hospital.
Yeah. By the way, one of the models modeling the clothes, I thought it was Jonathan Coachman for a second. I was like, is that
No,
Jonathan
he's
Coachman?
not
It's
here
not.
yet.
Yeah. We're gonna go to match number 4. It is a for the tag team titles. We got the Body Donnas. They're tag team champions. I never knew these guys were tag team champions.
Oh,
Uh,
come on, you gotta know your history.
they come out with Sunny, and they're gonna be facing the Godwins, who come out with Hillbilly Jim. And Henry Godwin starts the match. He does this thing where he spits a loogie in the air, catches it with his hand, and he starts like rubbing his hands together. Oh, it's so disgusting. Oh,
Dude,
and
if when I'm driving cross country, if I don't meet people in the South that look like Henry Godwin, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
yeah. By the way, Junior calls that the Arkansas cologne. So maybe it's going to happen in Arkansas when you go there. You'll meet somebody like that in Arkansas. By the way, both Godwins tower over the Donnas. It's totally mismatched. They're so much bigger than the Donnas. And Skip takes a powder early on, and then Zip tries to see Skip and Zip. They also look alike, right? They're the same around the same height. They have that same shitty blonde haircut, and they both have a little bit of chub on them. And they do this thing where they try to switch places, but it fools nobody. Everyone knows what they're doing. Even the referee was like, "What are you guys doing? Switch back. It's pointless." So they they acknowledge in the beginning. They establish that everyone can tell when that they don't, even though they look alike, we can tell the difference, and you can't pull the switcheroo. That's what they establish in this match in the beginning. Okay, keep that in mind. So Phineas, he gets sent outside, and then the body down start beating on Phineas. Even including a nice Frankensteiner by Skip. I will give him that. And Phineas is not actually not a good wrestler. He does this crappy mule kick thing where he's like gets on his hands and he tries to do like a back donkey kick. It looks really bad. But then
This whole match is bad.
yeah, Sonny gives him a picture of her and he gives it to Phineas, which distracts him because Phineas is in love with Sonny. Then Hillbilly Jim, he gets mad about this distraction, and he teases throwing the slop bucket on Sonny, and the referee's distracted from this, going like, "Hey, come on, Hillbilly, go back to your corner." And while this is happening, Henry Godwin, um, he does the slop drop finisher on Skip, but then as he gets up and he's like, "Hey, ref, I'm trying to win the match here," Zip trades places with Skip, and then when Henry Godwin tries to go to cover him, Zip does the inside cradle to win the match. Afterwards, Henry Godwin is so mad he takes the picture of Sonny and he stuffs it into the slop bucket. And Phineas is all upset because he caused the team to lose, but he sneaks the picture out of the slop bucket and puts it into his drawer so he could jerk off to it later.
There you go. Full victory.
This is a C minus match because in the beginning of this match, they established that nobody is fooled by the switcheroo, yet the Godwins lose to the switcheroo. It's the stupidest thing, dude. It's the stupidest thing. This is stupid.
Yeah, no, I hated this match. I hated this match, and I hate it. There's no other word. I hate it. Sonny looked good again, but that's it. I hate that. I hate the match.
How do you feel about the Phineas Sonny love storyline they're building?
I mean, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Like, Sonny just got lost like this tag team. Like, she's fucking all the tag teams in '96. Like, she fucks the Smoking Guns, she fucks the Godwins, she fucks the Body Adonis. It's just the tag division just becomes about her, and I don't know. Like, it kind of just you're always guaranteed in this era. You're guaranteed a shitty tag match that's centered around Sonny, and I would just rather have had Sonny in a better storyline.
That's true. That's a fair point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
more of a prominent role, like maybe near the main event. You know. So
Maybe instead of Jose Lothario, Sonny's with Shawn Michaels. That would have been good.
yeah, exactly. So we're gonna go to we get a In Your House 8 hype video, and then we get Doc Hendricks in the back with Mark Merrow and Sable. And his gimmick is Wild Man Mark Merrow, so he has to act like a wild man. And he has to cut a promo like a wild man. And he says stuff like, "Oh, in the jungle and in the woods," because I guess that's where wild man is. And he's basically cutting a wild man promo on Hunter. Dude, what is a wild man?
He's a wild man.
What does that
He's
mean?
wild. He's a guy who lives in the jungle, and he's just out of control. He can't control himself. He
I
howls at the
don't
moon.
think Mark Merrow. I don't think Mark Merrow knows what his gimmick is supposed to be,
No
and
one
you can
knows what's
tell
going
in this
on.
promo.
He's just
It's like I
wild.
don't know idea.
Vince McMahon knows what Vince
I have
McMahon.
no idea.
He's a wild man. He can't control himself. He's too wild.
Yeah, this reminded me of like Dustin Rhodes talking about when Vince said he wanted him to be like androgynous, and he was like, "Yeah, I could do that." And then he went home and he was like, "Dude, what does androgynous mean?" He had to like look it up in the dictionary, right? I feel like Mark Merrill said, "Yeah, I could do that," and then he was like, "What the fuck does this guy want me to do? What the hell is Wild Man? Like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to be," and that's why he's talking about being in the jungles and stuff like that.
Even Sable like making like this face, like she's like a dog. Like
Yeah,
Sable makes a grr face. It's really weird. It's already over. It's already
it's
over,
already
Johnny B. Bad.
over. It's already
Go back
over.
to
Yeah.
before it's too late, and it wound up being too late.
Hmm. Shawn Michaels and Diesel history package, and at the free for all, both of them are cutting promos on each other. And then Diesel, during one of his promos, though, he does go, he goes, Vince, are you gonna be out there? Because I got a little something for you. This is live TV. So he does reference Vince McMahon Jr. This is like the first time someone's really calling out the TV commentator. So this was really
Mhm.
interesting. Uh, this is get it like it's a work shoot, brother. It's a shoot.
He's shooting.
We're gonna go to our final
Kevin,
match. He's shooting from the hits, brother. This is a no holds barred WWF title match. Diesel comes out and he takes off his black vest and he throws it right at Junior's face. The Jerry the King
Mhm.
Lawler loves this. He's laughing his ass off. That's what the surprise is he had for Junior, and
Vince.
Junior's mad. He's like, "What the hell was that?"
See, in kayfabe though, like if you're like a little kid, you're like, well, he's doing that because Vince is like now Shawn Michaels' number one cheerleader, you know? So he's like pissed about that, you know?
Okay, well, people have to understand at this point in 1996, Vince McMahon being the owner of the company was still not like a well-known thing. You know, I didn't really know still.
I mean, I think like if you were an adult, you knew obviously. If we were like in our 40s back then, you believe we'd be in our 70s right now? Holy shit. Dude, we're gonna be in our 70s in 30 years. Anyway, uh if you were a fan, but like I think little kids still really didn't know what he was, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. But if you knew, you're probably like orgasming right now watching this. Like, oh my god, he threw it at the owner. You know,
We're shooting. We're shooting.
they show Mad Dog Vachon in the crowd. Um, and then they show Jose Lothario rubbing down Shawn Michaels and lecturing him in the back. And then they come out, and Shawn Michaels is already doing the too sweet hand symbol as he comes out. You know that
Mhm.
the Bullet Club will steal eventually. So Diesel and Shawn Michaels they start fighting right away. Shawn Michaels sends Diesel to the outside, and then he takes off his chaps, and then he does a moonsault to the floor onto Diesel. Cool stuff. Shawn Michaels takes off Hugo. So they're fighting on the outside. It's no holds barred, no disqualification. Shawn Michaels goes to the where the announce tables are, and he takes off Hugo Savinovich's shoe from the Spanish announce table. He goes underneath and takes off the guy's shoe, and he hits Diesel with it, which gets a 2 count, which I thought was really funny. And then Diesel sends Shawn Michaels to the rail. He sends him to the rail hard, and then he starts beating on him. And he yells at Jose, "Hey, old man, this is how we do it in the '90s," which I loved. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Diesel he takes his wrist tape and he starts choking out Earl Hebner with the wrist tape, and
Mhm.
the fans are aghast at this. Like, oh my god, he's attacking the referee. And then when the referee is knocked out, he takes off Earl Hebner's belt and he starts whipping Shawn Michaels with it. He chokes Shawn Michaels with it. He hangs Shawn Michaels from the top ropes with the belt, and then he ties the belt to the ropes. And then he goes to the floor, takes Howard Finkel, throws him off the chair, grabs the chair, and he hits Shawn Michaels in the back with it. So Diesel's attacking everybody, referees, announcers. People are like, "Holy shit, this guy's losing control here. He looks like a monster."
Great. It's great stuff. When he choked Earl Hebner, I'm like, what is he doing? Because like, you know, what are they gonna bring another ref? And then when it's like, I want his belt, because he knew he couldn't just like take Earl Hebner's belt off of him, right? And it
Yeah,
was like, wow, that's really smart. That's a smart thing to do. It made him look more out of control than a lot of these newer wrestlers. But we'll keep going because I have a lot to say about this match.
yeah. No, feel free to interject anytime. You're right. Good call on that. So Diesel's back in the ring with Shawn Michaels, and he's got the chair. And then he swings the chair, but Shawn Michaels ducks out of the way. The chair ricochets off the top rope, hits him in the face, and then Shawn Michaels gets the chair, and he tries to use it on Diesel, but then Diesel low blows Shawn Michaels. So
Mhm.
not only is he attacking everybody, Diesel is also fighting real dirty.
Yeah.
Diesel powerbombs Shawn Michaels through the announcer's table on the outside. And then,
Now this was a great moment because
yes.
Vince starts going to Shawn, stay down, it's over, and it's like I'm worried about you. Like I think you just let Diesel pin you. Like it's over, Shawn. Like you can't win. And they because the announcers lay out, they just let the crowd noise go. He's struggling to get. It was such a good way to sell a table spot, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And 96 is where we really start seeing more consistent table use, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so after that, he Diesel grabs the world title, right? And he puts it on and he starts wearing it. He's just like, and he's like going like, yeah, like he's very confident. He feels like I'm just kicking Shawn Michaels' butt. I'm gonna take this title with me. Now, this is the part of the match that did take me out of it. Shawn Michaels is getting up from getting thrown through the table, and he starts doing this hokey selling. It's so phony. It
Mm-hmm.
looks it looks like WCW garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, does. And he's like, ugh, ugh, ugh. He's just like, and then he gets the fire extinguisher from under the ring. He sprays Diesel in the face with it, hits Diesel with a chair that has a headset attached to it that he just somehow can't get off. And then Diesel is able to fight back, and he tries to jackknife Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels gets out of the jackknife and hits a flying elbow. But then Diesel, he blocks the sweet chin music, and he clotheslines Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
Then
with
Diesel goes,
the way they set up the first Sweet Chin music, the whole crowd is with them, and like the way Diesel blocks it is smart. Yeah, I thought it was great.
yeah, that part's good. Diesel then goes outside and he grabs Mad Dog Vachon, pulls him off his seat onto the floor, and then it rips off his fake leg. Mad Dog Vachon, he was in I think, a really bad motorcycle accident or a car
Yes,
accident.
it talks about it on commentary. Yeah,
Yeah. So he lost his leg and he has a fake leg. And supposedly, Bruce Pritchard said that this was actually Mad Dog's idea. He said, "Do you guys want to use my leg? I think you should use my leg." And they were like, "Okay."
it's a great idea because it looks like Diesel. It looks like Diesel. It's just attacking this old man for no reason. But then it's like, oh, Diesel knows you have a fake leg, and he's going to use it to beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels with, and it's pretty good. I liked it.
You know what Diesel looks like? Diesel looks like a wild man. He's
He looks like
attacking
a wild man.
referees. Yeah, he's all over the place. He's attacking referees, fans, right?
But
Like he looks like
Reggie,
a wild man.
I think this match almost like helped the NWO. Like it helps, like it's like at the beginning of the angle, it's just Scott Hall and Kevin Nash holding off the entire company. And I heard fans say like it's crazy that was so believable. Like it's believable because they let him leave looking like a fucking lunatic. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, so Diesel grabs a Moondog Vachon, pulls him to ringside, rips off his fake leg, and he tries to hit Shawn Michaels with it. But Shawn Michaels low blows Diesel, grabs the fake leg, nails Diesel with it, then hits the sweet chin music to win the match. Um, so I gave this a B plus. It's a really good match. It's probably the best Diesel Shawn Michaels match, but I don't think it's like a must see because of the hokey selling Shawn Michaels does after the table spot, and then he just completely stops selling like everything near the
He
end,
does the
and it's just
peacock.
like,
He does the Hogan thing.
that's why Hogan's matches aren't like
But
classics.
if you have if you establish that you have a move in wrestling logic, you do a thing that restores your power, then it's okay. But unlike
You
Swerve
know,
Scott, just stops selling when he feels
see,
like
yeah,
it.
so this is like I don't know. It just wasn't for me. It just like it's a good match. That's what I'm saying. I
I,
gave it.
I
I'm giving it a
listen. I
B
think
plus.
this match. Let me tell you something. Here's everyone loves these Swerve Hangman matches, and they're hitting each other with needles, and they're hitting each other with cinder blocks. and they're bleeding on each other, screaming, "I hate you." And to me, I felt more like these two guys hate each other and do anything to hurt each other than all that shit. Because everything they did to each other was believable. I mean, because I do feel like if one of their ideas was I'm gonna hit fucking Shawn Michaels with a cinder block, Vince would be like, well then the match is just fucking over and Shawn Michaels isn't gonna wrestle for 6 months, Like it's
Also, you're going to jail.
yeah, also go to jail. Yeah. Like everything is like in the context of I hate you, but it's a no holds barred wrestling match. Even the leg thing is like I really got the sense that these two not at each other, and it felt like a really good blow off. Like after Sean pins him and he's like doing this really like not that I was watching, but the way Sean just starts screaming at Diesel's face, and he just seems very insecure and like, but it still was a great way to like signify he overcame Diesel. We're blowing this off. I really liked it. But again, there's little things that Shawn Michaels does, like the way he celebrates after beating Diesel, which makes him a very unlikable guy. And while
Yeah,
I
but
love his
also here's the thing:
matches,
if you're taking a beating like that, right? Like remember he got
he
he
kicked up
got put
though.
through a table.
He kicked up.
What?
He kicked up.
Yeah, but I'm
If
saying
you have a
like
hook up move, it's okay.
after you take a beating like that and you're just like dancing around the ring afterwards, it's like, come on, dude, what the fuck? That means like it was nothing, you know? And
But he
that's kind of
kicked
like
up.
what throws me off.
As long as you have a Hulk up thing, you can do it. And see, that's why the Young Bucks, if they had like a fucking a kick up, like a dance, they did, and then they restore their power. It's all right. Shawn Michaels has Hulk Hogan powers,
Yeah, I guess. Um, so by the
but
way,
my whole point is,
mhm,
as good as his matches are, there is something deeply unlikable about 1996 Shawn Michaels that I just don't think people want to get behind, and clearly they didn't.
yeah. By the way, you talk about Cinderblock. Do you remember when um that guy in Lucha Libre actually threw a real Cinderblock at somebody's head?
Oh yeah, he was bad for wrestling, right?
Yeah, yeah. The guy almost died. He had to get rushed to the hospital. He had to
Yeah,
take a
that's why
cinder
like
block to the head.
that's like what that yeah, that's why I don't like those hangman swerve matches. Because like yeah, they'd be in the hospital and stuff and then they're no selling it. If you're gonna no sell, you need a hook up move. I'm sorry, those are the rules. I don't make them. Hulk Hogan made them.
Anyways, that's In Your House 7
No, it's in
Best
your house, good
Friends
friends, better
Better
enemies.
Enemies.
All right, you
What's
okay
next on
there?
the docket, Mike? Yeah, what's
Next
next on the
week,
docket?
Slamboree 96, Battle Bowl plus Sting versus Giant. Then the week after that,
Yes.
it's In Your House, Beware of Dog, British Bulldog versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh no. In Your House 8,
No,
Beware of Dog.
no, no. It's In Your House, Beware of Dog. Then we go to Great American Bash 96, which is the Giant versus Lex Luger and debut of the Outsiders on pay-per-view. Big show. Then in 4 weeks, it's King of the Ring 96, which is Shawn Michaels versus British Bulldog and the rise of Austin 316. And then in 5 weeks, Bash at the Beach 96, the NWO versus Team WCW. 3 huge pay-per-views in a row. Three
Holy crap.
game changers in a row.
So by the point second half of 96 sounds amazing. You know?
Yeah. But once you get to Great American Bash 96, it's big development after big development on every show. Well, maybe not the July, but in terms of WCW, yeah, we're about to witness a seismic shift in the wrestling world. We're still feeling the effects of the summer of 96 to this day. To this day, there would not be people in that fucking Las Vegas stadium in 10 weeks if Austin didn't say Austin 316 at King of the Ring 96. Changes everything, and we will never be the same, all of us. You excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, great. So that's the show. Thank you for listening. It's just me, Oos, and Andrew Lee's on the show. Subscribe, like us, follow us, do what you can, do what you must, and we'll see you next week. for Slamboree 9-6. Daddy, let me tell you something. We're gonna see you then. Thank you. Hold on. Andrew Lee, please. Andrew Lee, bro.
Yeah.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
It's just
What's
me.